Hi, Mom. Thanks, Mom. I mean, hey guys, everybody, how's everybody doing, man? Welcome. Well, my mom just said it, and I honestly, the plan was to go and pretend as if I don't even have a birthday. That was kind of the plan, but Sam put this up. She's the best. So she was like, I wanted to make sure everyone knows. And I was like, well, that kind of ruined my plans of not telling anybody. I was going to pretend I just spawned in. But thank you, Mom. But thank you guys. Yes, it's my birthday. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. So now, quick story, right? As always, we start with a story. So yesterday was the 1st, October 1st. And it was Taco Tuesday, right? I'm going to just peel this mug off because it's coming off. And it was Taco Tuesday, right? October 1st, Taco Tuesday. So there were deals going around. There's a taco spot right by our complex called Rusty's Tacos. And they had a deal going on, right? $2.99 tacos, which, by the way, their tacos are typically like $4.50 to $5, right? The other option was Taco Bell because they had $1 tacos, but they had certain tacos throughout the day, right? So that's why that was kind of out. So we went to Rusty's Tacos, $2.99, right? So we go there, we're excited. Because like I said, typically their tacos are $5 a pop, right? So we end up spending an arm and a leg when we go there. And we're ordering our food. We wanted to go sit outside. Oh, and another part, we are being so cheap. Earlier, over the weekend, we went to Sam's Club and bought the big pack of Jarritos. So instead of going there and spending like $3 on a bottle of Jarritos each, we just brought it over. So we'd have to buy it. So we wanted to go sit outside. It was beautiful. It's been beautiful here, right? And we're waiting for our food. They have like outside seating, and it's like a long bench that, there's a front and a back to it, and then there's tables, and then there's chairs on the outside, right? So it's all lined up. And so we go sit by the like very end, right, on one side. And on the other side, there was some like white kid that was just over there, right, sitting. I didn't think anything of it because I think when I first saw him, there was like 2 tables that were pushed together. And tell me how the next time I look over, this motherfucker is dragging all of the tables and they are pushing them together. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? At first, I'm like, maybe he's just having fun, like just a kid doing kid shit, right? Like I don't know what people like to do, right? Just want to fuck things up. And then I was like, wait a second, there's a college right by us. I was like, and I don't think that this kid is an actual kid, right? And so me realizing that there's a college right by us, I understood what was happening. This kid was whatever that group, his group, he was the little bitch of the group. So me and Sam were over here like, what you think he's doing? What is that? And I was like, oh, I know exactly what he is. The boy sent him here to get all the tables together. I saw him. He had a text, or he had like a little notepad. It looked like he was fucking writing orders down. And then he went in and ordered, and I was like, oh shit, he really is that person of the group. And the only reason I know this is because we used to have a person like this in our sneaker group. His name was Nuggets. And he used to go line up at sneaker events early as hell, because if you've ever been to a sneaker event in New York, you would know. Those lines it wraps the block. You could be waiting online for like 3-4 hours. I've done it before in the rain and the cold. I've done it before. And so we used to send him, and he would go at like 6, 7 in the morning. He would be there online. He'd be hitting up our group chat like, yo, guys, I'm here. He'd be like, yo, I'm here. And we're assholes. And we over here, I'm getting up at 8 a.m. And I'm like, yo, I'll be there in like an hour. And so I realized who this kid was. And then, sure enough, after this kid put all of these tables together, moved all the he did everything. He must have put like 5 tables together. Ordered people's food, and then everybody started showing up one by one. I'm like, you guys couldn't send one person with this kid? You couldn't send one person? He was just there by himself? So yeah, before the frat kids got rowdy, we got the fuck up out of there. We smoothly ate our food, packed that shit to go, because we got more food than we typically get, because they were $2.99, and we got up out of there. Don't be that kid. Don't be that kid. They are taking full advantage of that kid. But hey man, he executed the plan to perfection. He did exactly what everybody wanted him to do, and he did it with flying colors, man. And hey, whatever works, man. Whatever floats his boat. Whatever floats his boat. Now,
about this is that I don't think a lot of fans understand the amount of communication and execution that goes into the game of basketball, at least on our team. You know, Phil and his coaching staff preach that to us. It's about execution. Yeah, you have to emotionally be invested in the game. You have to play hard and all that other stuff, play with a lot of energy. But you got to execute. And I think that's what's great about our team, and, you know, having smart players on our team, is that we talk about execution all the time. You can't stress that enough.
And, you know, the late, great Kobe Bryant, been on my mind a lot, man. But thank you guys for joining me. We're going to be talking a lot about execution on today's show. Welcome, man. Welcome to the Jayson Estrera Show, man. I appreciate y'all. Welcome in, man. This is the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way, as accurate as possible. Today we're going to be talking about Game 2 of the WNBA semifinals playoffs. So we're going to be talking all about that. I thought that there was a common theme between both the games that we saw last night. And I'll be honest with you, man, I'm going to cut the shit. We are going to get right into it. Now, last night, we'll go with the first game, right? We saw the New York Liberty take on the the Las Vegas Aces in Brooklyn, New York, and they pulled off the victory 88-84. And they did that behind an unbelievable game. I mean, just like unbelievable game out of Sabrina Ionescu, who ended the game with 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 of 4 from the line, 3 of 9 from 3, 9 of 18 from the field. Literally closed the game. She had 11 in the fourth quarter alone. So let's take a look very quickly at how this game actually turned out. Let's just take a look a little bit at the ending of it. Let's see.
Running, laying, and it's a one-point game.
It was a wild game to end it. Honestly, I was kind of surprised it was even this close. I'll be honest with you. And
these are the moments the Aces were able to separate a season ago.
Look at this. She was just on it, man. She was fucking balling, yo.
Back-to-back plays made by Sabrina. Liberty lead by 3. Clark for the tie.
Alicia Clark had some big moments in the end there.
How about this display of basketball between these rivals?
Another one.
Ionescu, the leader, is good.
Unbelievable, bro. This is all in like a fucking minute span.
Looking inside, finds Wilson. Wilson, the jab step, the jumper is good with 5.6 to go. 2-point game, and now New York will take a timeout.
Are they gonna play? Are they gonna show this part?
Although it seems like defenders always.
Mind you, I think this is important to know, and we'll get into this. Kelsey Plum hadn't really played in the fourth quarter at all up until this point. And they had her in these last two possessions.
Still contested in these spots. New York runs away. Young can't hit the three. Game
They didn't even show the turnover. So, like we said earlier, right? Execution really trumps all, right? Whether or not you think A'ja Wilson is the best player in the WNBA or not, whether Brianna, all those things don't matter if the teams don't execute. And this game was a prime example of one team that was executing and another team that was just playing off of talent. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, dog. I like the little thing in the parentheses. Elite Hutch. That's fire. I like that. That's dope. I like that. But if you watch this game, right, the Aces were literally in the game just off of their talent. A lot of the times it was one-on-ones. It was, I'm a drive and kick. There were no back cuts. There were no pin downs, flare. Everyone just had to kind of find their way, right? And A'ja Wilson, who was getting double teamed, and honestly, a huge part of it too. No problem, bro. No problem. Jonquel Jones having the size to match up with A'ja Wilson, I think it's a really big factor in this series, right? Because she can contain A'ja Wilson a decent amount by herself, right? And now you leave her in a situation where she has to shoot a bunch of jump shots. If you saw a lot of the times where A'ja Wilson would score is on fast breaks where she can kind of get them leaning and she'll hit them with her right to left crossover or left to right crossover and lay it up. But outside of that, everything was really tough. And like I said, I think a huge part of that is, they're forcing her to get more dribbles in, giving time for the double and the rotations to happen. And a lot of the game, they weren't taking advantage of it, right? And in the end, when the game was breaking down, right, there was a good stretch there where the Liberty were playing like the Aces for most of the game, right? It was just throwing the ball away, didn't know what was going on. And they said it during the broadcast, right, that the Liberty had made an adjustment this season of putting the ball in Sabrina Ionescu's hand, especially in late game situations. And I'll be honest with you, there were times where she got trapped during the Olympics, and I was like, she got this? And clearly, in the Liberty system, you good there, bro? In New York Liberty system, she's able to catch the ball and be in attack mode constantly. And she showed that last night. She literally closed the game out. She hit every big shot. She had the assist. She did everything. And like I said, with all of the emotions, because A'ja Wilson and the Aces have shown a ton of emotion throughout the game. But like Kobe said, all of those things are a part of the game and they're a factor, but they don't stand above execution, right? I think there's times where a lot of these analysts, they'll get caught up in X, Y, and Z, and ultimately the teams have to execute. The players have to execute. Now, I thought it was very interesting seeing Kelsey Plum in this game because she, being one of the ball handlers for the Aces, to not have her on the floor and also be one of their better three-point shooters, to not have her on the floor towards the end of a game is very telling, right? I thought she made a ton of mistakes. And after not playing through most of the fourth quarter, and she comes in there at the end, she cuts to the ball in one of the situations, right? And I don't think that was the play. I could be totally wrong. Maybe she was just counting down in her head and she was like, all right, someone's got to go to the ball, and no one was going to the ball. So someone had to do it. But again, execution. And I don't think she did that, right? She hit some shots, cool. But in terms of the entirety of the game, for what she needs, for what she does well, the fact that she's not on the floor is huge, right? Because the reality is Chelsea Gray can't shoot the three ball like Kelsey Plum can. She can make these big shots, more of a midi step back kind of game, but the threes is just not her forte. And her not being in the game is really hurting her team, right? And clearly they think her being in the game is hurting them more. But the spacing is really off. It's a lot of one-on-one. I mean, the Liberty's defense was just incredible too. They were on top of everything. You know what it is, right? It's like when you watch a game or when you watch anything really, and the things happen the way they're supposed to, right? It's just so satisfying, right? They'll move the ball, somebody cuts because of miscommunication. That cutter will get the ball. Someone's gonna have to overextend, drop pass, kick out. Everything was just so smooth. And for a team that's been so dominant all year in the Liberty, right? Everyone talked about the Aces, beat them up in the year before. They're the defending world champions. They beat them in the finals. And I'm not saying that the emotions aren't a factor, right? They're obviously a driving force in some of this. But like I said, and like Kobe said, none of that stuff matters if you don't execute. And that is exactly what the Liberty did. They had a great game plan. It started with Brianna. It started with Brianna Stewart, right? She came out aggressive. She was getting a feel for it, and then she started passing, right? When people were overextending on her. And the other part that I noticed at halftime, at the half, Aja Wilson had only shot the ball 4 times. And how many players was it? There were 4 players that had more shots than Aja Wilson at the half. And I get it. She's double teamed, their defense. But as a team, as a coach, you guys can't let that happen. This is the MVP of the league, the most points per game in a season, the most total points in a season. She can't have 4 shot attempts in a half of basketball. I don't give a fuck what it is. That's why at some point I was watching it. I was like, she needs to start forcing this shit. Like, she really needs to start forcing this shit. And a part of that thinking is because they're already overextending. Let them really come over here and open everything up for everybody else. but she was just kind of playing the game. She was like, all right, I'll pass the ball here, do this, do that. And listen, I get that that's easier said than done. And obviously she consistently was trying to make the right basketball plays. And let's be honest, she also just missed a couple shots in the end. Right? If some of those middies went in at the end, we could be having a totally different conversation. But especially the way these games have gone, the way the Aces have looked all year, I'm not confident that they'll be able to come back or even make this series interesting. There's a stat. There's been no WNBA team that's come back from a 2-0 deficit. And maybe Asia Wilson and the crew, get back on their bullshit and run it. But the Liberty just looked too good. It looks like they have an answer for everything. They have a counter for everything. The fact that Breanna Stewart doesn't have to play defense on Asia Wilson the entire game, I think really helps a lot. And yeah, man, the city got something to be proud of, man. The city got something to be proud of. Everybody was in there. Melo was in there. It was great. It was great, man. It was an absolutely phenomenal game. I can't wait till Game 3. Game 3 is what? On Friday, I believe. I believe it's on Friday. So Game 3 is on Friday. So super excited about that. Now, let's get into the following game, which was the Minnesota Lynx versus the Connecticut Sun, in which the Minnesota Lynx tied the series at 1-1. Excuse me. And they won 77-70. And I'll be honest, the game wasn't really, for most of that second half, it wasn't even that close. Let's see, it was a fucking blowout. Oh, first of all, and I didn't know this, right? Obviously, I'm new to the WNBA scene. Hi, y'all. I'm new to that scene. But I did not know that they be line dancing after the games. When the game ended and Kayla McBride was doing the interview and all the players were just standing around, I was very confused because I was like, okay, are they about to just are they about to get into a huddle after the game type thing, right? Like, the huddle up, say whatever. And you should have seen the look on my face when they started dancing to Electric Slide, dog. I was so confused. I was so confused. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But hey, if that's their thing, that's their thing. Now, in terms of their team, no one scored above 20 points. 17 for Courtney Williams, 15 for Alana Smith, 11 for Kayla McBride, and Napisha Collier only had 9 points. She shot poorly, 3 of 14 from the field, but had 12 rebounds to go with 5 assists. And on the other side, Alyssa Thomas was flirting with another triple-double. She had 18 points to go with 10 rebounds and 7 assists and 2 steals. DeWanna Bonner also had 17 points, but she didn't shoot very great either. 5 of 15 from the field. 3 of 7 from 3 to go with 6 rebounds and 3 assists. So, where is this? Where?
2 for Thomas. She's going to wait for a little.
Where is it? Let's just go towards the end of this. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, man. This series does not have the star power that the Liberty and the Aces have, right? And that's not to say, like I said, that's not to say they're not good players. But They just don't have the same star power. And at this point, the Sun were making it a little bit close. They were down like 15 for most of that second half, it felt like.
Each with 17 to lead the Sun. Smith left open. That's dangerous.
Cash.
Because she can do that.
And
Getting the
again,
shit out the
another
ball.
example of cuts, right? Man, at home in the target center, it's been such a tough day shooting-wise for Collier.
Thomas left it for Carrington. Yes, and the foul.
Oh, she got sent to the floor by Kayla McBride, and she got tied. She was tied.
Shot clock at 3 for Williams.
All the way.
You need 3 seconds to get to the basket. Connecticut got no closer than 7 points here in the fourth quarter. They had won 7.
So, like I said, there was a common theme between both games, right? And we're going to go right back to the word execution, execution, execution. The game looks similar between the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty in the sense of the way they were running all of their actions. Everyone just looked so locked into the game plan, right? These people are going to shoot. You're going to kick and drive. We're going to run our offense. Everything looked smooth. They were getting easy buckets. And then when you look on the other side with the Connecticut Sun, everything looked difficult. There was moments where Alyssa Thomas was visibly upset or frustrated. She's like, all right, we're going to do this shit again. Give me the ball. She's like, okay, I'm going to dribble it up. All right, high pick and roll. And they were just on top of it, right? Minnesota was getting over on the picks, getting out to DeWanna Bonner, getting out to Dejanay Carrington. Marina Mabry to get a basket with doing 200 moves just to get 2 points. They were just making it very difficult. They were active bodies. They just, like I said, they had a game plan and they executed it. This was a situation where they could have gone down 2-0. And we just talked about that stat in the WNBA. So it was very important for the Lynx to win this game. Now, I could be tripping, but I chose them to win this. And the Liberty, obviously, to win the other series. So I was excited. Now, I was hoping that Napisha Collier would go off the way she did in that first series, averaging 40 points over those 2 games. But her ability to is kind of like Breanna Stewart, honestly, in a way. She's consistently aggressive, but she's also a willing passer, right? She gets to her spots. She makes her moves very quickly. But like I said, she's also a very willing passer. And for the other players to step up and have the games that they did, I mean, it was a great game. And like I said, they executed. I think it makes predicting game 3 really difficult because the Sun, in a lot of ways, play like that when they're hitting on all cylinders. Right, they're getting into their shit. The Alyssa Thomas pick and roll is working. DeWanna Bonner's hitting shots. Marina Mabry's hitting shots. Carrington's getting to the rim. A lot of those elements that they're used to just wasn't there yesterday. So I think they can figure it out. I think Game 3 is going to be a lot of fun to watch because they've split it. I think it's probably going to be more fun to watch than the Aces series. But yeah, talk about execution. That was it right there. Now, I wanted to move away from the WNBA really quickly right over here and start talking about some NBA stuff. It's right around the corner, y'all. I believe it starts this weekend or something like that, like the 7th. But let's take a look at what Ben Simmons had to say.
Johnson, we were just discussing this, and they said you at the top and healthy 100% is going to make this team work like a well-oiled engine.
Yeah.
I think people forget, me as a player when I'm healthy. I could play basketball. I'm pretty good, right? So for me, it's just being consistent with that and staying on top of my body and just getting better every day and staying in the gym with these guys.
So we was just talking about this like a week ago, man. We are back with this bullshit with Ben Simmons. I was defending him big time like 2 years ago, right? Because like I said, I think he was a player that got put into this, oh, you need to get better at X, Y, and Z, when he was already effective in the things that he did well, right? And so I was a big proponent of that because not just with him, I feel like it happens a lot more often than we realize, where players don't get utilized to their strengths and have to develop these other games to last in the NBA, which, if you really think about it, is actually really impressive, right? And Ben Simmons was obviously an all-star, an all-defensive player, maybe even a defensive player of the year candidate. Those are very, very high accolades. And so to ask someone to now, do other things instead of expecting them to keep doing that and build on some of these skills over time, I thought was a little unfair. But that was 2 years ago. And this notion that he's going to come right back and destroy, when one, he still hasn't developed that jump shot. Two, he hasn't played games. Being in shape versus being in basketball shape are two totally different things. Which, by the way, I realized that yesterday. I've been back to running again more consistently than I have been, doing my 5Ks, a couple times a week. I went to go shoot around yesterday, and when I tell you jumping and fucking shooting and running together, I was gassed. I was absolutely gassed. So there's two different in shapes that we're talking about here, being just in good physical shape versus in NBA shape to play against the best basketball players in the world. Those are two different things, right? And to pretend like he's just going to come back, I would be fine if we throw him out the league. I mean, honestly, I'm right there with you, bro. Because even though I disagree with the fact that Derrick Rose waived his contract, it was very honorable, but it was a guaranteed contract. He waived it so they don't got to pay him and it don't hit their salary cap, which, by the way, I pray to God, I hope that they threw him some money under the table. I hope that they wired some bread to Derrick Rose for that move, because that was super honorable. But to have a player like Derrick Rose do that, and then have a player like Ben Simmons who just hasn't been playing and has been collecting checks, it's like, what the fuck, man? And there's only so long where I could be like, oh, I think you used to be good, until it's like, dude, you getting older. You're not getting younger. And you've always relied on your physical gifts, and those don't get better over time. And I'm over this Ben Simmons shit. Personally, I would love it if he kills. Any player, I hope everyone kills. I think it would make the league better. But do I have faith in that? Hell no. Hell no. He got to show me first. I mean, his first hurdle has to be to play a full season, right? That's got to be first and foremost. We can't even start talking about expectations with numbers and stats if he can't even play a full season out, right? So that's got to be first and foremost before expecting anything else. Can you play 60 to 70 games first, bro? Can we do that first? And then we can start talking about, oh, I'm good at basketball, I'm an all-star. Like, huh? I'm over this shit, man. I'm over this Ben Simmons shit. Like I said, I hope he kills. I hope he does. I hope everyone does. But it's just, and here's the other part too, right? I've said many times, confidence can do a lot for a player, right? That, even if someone's better than you and you're just a more confident player, sometimes that could put you above other people, right? Playing with confidence, being confident, versus someone that has lost their confidence for whatever reason. Like a Ben Simmons. That also has an extreme impact in the opposite direction, right? And I think that he, number one, needs to show that he can be healthy and play these games. And number two, needs to gain his confidence back. Because I think that was the reason why he wasn't shooting well and doing all that stuff to begin with. He passed up a layup, and it was a big thing. But that's confidence. That's a lack of confidence from someone like that. And like I said, that goes a long way in the wrong direction if a player is seriously lacking that. We're gonna see someone that's an all-star, all defensive level player look like a bum. Like that's just the real shit. That's just the reality. Now, to go from one injury-riddled player, to another one, let's take a look at what Lonzo Ball had to say about starting this season out.
Ready to get the year started.
Follow up. Obviously, you need to see once you get into camp how you're reacting physically, but are you confident that you will be in uniform on opening night?
Yeah, man, that's the goal. Obviously, we can't really tell the future, but that's the plan I'm on, and I think I'll be ready for the first game for sure.
Y'all ever heard somebody sound less sure about some shit that they about to say? You can't tell the future. You don't know, but we got a plan, and I'm trying to get there. He is not the same as Ben Simmons in the sense of the confidence thing, but his injury and having a whole new knee, he's gonna have to show us that that's possible. I think that they've obviously set some expectation probably and have some goals that they want to hit with him. Hopefully they don't rush him back and really try to take their time, because right before he went out, I don't know if y'all remember this, but he was killing. He was killing. A 6'6" point guard that's elite on defense, was coming around as a shooter. I mean, his playmaker, he had, we talked about it the other day, right? A variety in play styles. He was someone that had a different play style from everybody else, and that was beautiful to see. But, clearly there's some injury problems in this Ball family, and hopefully that doesn't continue. Hopefully LaMelo called up Steph Curry. That's the only thing that I wish he would have done. I hope he called up Steph Curry, get his ankles right, because he also at stretches has looked really, really good. But like I said, I want to see all of these players kill, man. But I also hope that they handle them properly and execute these plans that they've come up with, and not try to rush him because he looks good, or you know what I'm saying? I hope that they actually have a legitimate plan in place to get these guys back and healthy, because that'll go a long way. I want to see the NBA thriving with all of the players kicking ass, with everybody kicking ass. And obviously health is one of those things in the NBA that's never promised, but you could only hope, right? You could only hope that. I mean, if there was one wish list, it would be that everybody be healthy and kill this year. That'd be it. But that's going to do it for me for now. It's been a quick episode today, man. If y'all are still here, before y'all go, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good shit. It really helps the channel out. Like I always say, we're trying to take this to outer space, y'all, and we're on our way there. Trying to get better every single day. But until Friday, I will see y'all later. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I really appreciate that. I'll see y'all later, man. I'll see y'all for